You ever feel like your English makes you sound like you're doing all the work, even when you're the one in charge? Well, today we are going to fix that. We're going to master the grammar of delegation.
Okay, so take a look at this sentence. I cut my hair yesterday. Now, grammatically, it's perfect. But what it means, well, it probably means you did something you almost certainly did not do. And believe me, this is one of the most common mistakes I hear, even from super advanced speakers.
And this picture just says it all, right? When you say, I cut my hair, you're painting the picture on the left. You, with scissors, in your bathroom, probably making a huge mess. But what you actually mean is the picture on the right. You kicking back in a comfy chair while a professional does the work. You arranged for it to happen. Today, we're learning how to say that.
To fix this, we need a complete mindset shift. I want you to stop thinking of yourself as the actor in every single sentence. From now on, you are the movie director. I mean, think about it. The director doesn't hold the camera or adjust the lights themselves, right? No, the director makes sure those things get done. This powerful way of thinking actually has a name in grammar. It's called the causative form, and it's exactly what it sounds like. The grammar you use when you don't do the action yourself, but you cause it to happen. It's the difference between talking like the worker and talking like the boss.
Now, every great director needs a team, a crew. And your crew is made up of these 4 assistant director verbs. They're how you get things done, and each one has its own personality, from gently allowing something to happen all the way to forcing it. So, let's meet the team.
We're going to start by looking at the 2 complete opposites on the spectrum of control. We're talking about letting something happen versus making something happen.
Okay, so what's really fascinating here is the emotional difference. Let is all about permission. You have the power, and you give someone the green light. I let my students use their phones. But on the flip side, you've got make. This is all about force or a requirement. There's no choice involved. My boss made me work late. You didn't want to, but you had to.
And here is a critical warning, a huge mistake you have to avoid. When you use make this way, you never, ever, ever use the word to after it. It's not, he made me to do it. It's, he made me do it. Just think of that little word to as being totally forbidden here. Banned.
All right, now for the main event. Let's get into the pair that is the most important and the most commonly confused. Seriously, if you can master these 2, you'll see the biggest jump in how natural your daily English sounds.
Okay, so have versus get. Have is professional. It's transactional. You use it when you pay for a service or you're using your authority. I had the mechanic check the brakes. It's his job. Simple. Get, on the other hand, is all about persuasion. It implies you had to work a little. You had to convince someone. I got my brother to help me move. Did I pay him? Nope. Did I have to promise him pizza? You bet I did. That's get.
And just when you thought you were done with to, it's back. With the verb get, you absolutely must use to. The structure is get plus the person plus to plus the verb. So, I got my brother to help me. You cannot forget that too.
All right, let's bring this all the way back to our haircut problem. Because most of the time, we don't really care who performed the service, do we? We just care that the job got done. And this is where the most useful structure in this whole explainer comes into play.
It's called the passive causative. And you use it when the person doing the action is obvious or unknown or just not important to the story. The formula is super easy. You start with the subject, you use have or get, then the object that received the action, and finally the past participle form of the verb. Let's run through some quick daily examples so you can see it in action. At the dry cleaners, you don't say, I cleaned my suit. No, you say, I had my suit cleaned, you arranged for it, you caused it to happen. Okay, at the dentist's, please do not say I pulled my tooth. That's a horror movie. You went to a professional. You say, I had my tooth pulled. This shows you arranged for a professional service.
And what about your broken laptop? You didn't open it up yourself, right? You took it to a specialist. So you can say, I had my laptop fixed, or very casually and commonly, I got my laptop fixed. Both work perfectly here. Okay, you've seen the theory. Now it is time to put it into practice. Let's do a quick pop quiz to see if you've got this down. I'll give you a situation. You choose the right structure. Ready?
First one, you hired and paid a professional to paint your kitchen. What would you say? You'd say, I had my kitchen painted. Why? Because you're using have for a paid professional service. And since we don't really care about the painter's name, we use that awesome passive causative structure.
Situation 2. Your friend is lazy, but after some serious begging, you convince them to drive you to the airport in the middle of the night. How do you describe this?
The answer is, I got my friend to drive me. You had to use persuasion, which means you need get, and of course, you remembered to include the to.
Last one for you. A police officer pulls you over and requires you to show your identification. You have no choice in the matter. What's the structure here?
You'd say, the officer made me show my ID. This wasn't a friendly request, it was a requirement backed by authority. It was force, so we have to use make.
So, you see, mastering the causative form is so much more than just a grammar rule. It's about accurately describing your role in the world and the power you have to make things happen. It lets you tell people if you're the one doing the work or the one directing the work. So the final question is, in your life and in your sentences, are you the actor or are you the director?